morning, everyone. My name is Tio, and I'm a staff member with the Seattle Children's Foundation and Guild Association team. Over the last 6 months, I've really had the privilege and honor to get to know the Bernal family. I've got to learn a lot about who Alana was, her strength, her courage, her heart for others through Carlos and Maria. So I just want to say thank you, Carlos and Maria, for trusting me with these stories and sharing these memories and stories of Alana with me. I wish I could have met her. Philanthropy really fuels the mission of this hospital. It really fuels the hope, care, cures that we talk about all the time. Philanthropy brings healing, not just for the kids and families who receive care here, but for the families who've experienced loss. I think working with Carlos and Maria on philanthropy has been a healing process for them, and really that's the power of philanthropy. The word philanthropy, it comes from the Greek root words of philos, which means love, and anthropos, which means humankind. It literally means the love for people, the love for humankind. And I think that's just a beautiful way to honor and celebrate the life of Alana today. And thanks to Carlos and Maria's generosity, they're giving back to this place, this wonderful place that's going to help and aid the healing of families and kids who are going to be receiving care in the SICU. I just want to say thank you to all of you providers for the work you do day in and day out to really care for kids and families. I am so proud to be a staff member of Seattle Children's. Every time I introduce myself, I hear so many wonderful stories from people, strangers, friends, parents of kids at my kids' schools, of just amazing stories of care that they've gotten here at Seattle Children's. And I just wanted to take the quick opportunities to thank all of you for the care that you provided the Bernal family. You make what we do at the foundation so much easier. We don't have a formal program today. I'm just going to hand it off to Dr. Mazwi to say a couple words. I welcome if anyone feels inclined to say a couple words. I just keep it short. I'll have Carlos and Maria, they can say a couple words, and then, today would have been Alana's 7th birthday. Today is also Maria's birthday. We're going to sing happy birthday because it's a celebration of life today. And then we'll unveil a beautiful plaque that we have up here.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So nice to see you all. Thanks for coming, for being here. I can't say how happy I was when I heard that the plaque would be here. This is a light-filled space. This is a space that we pass through every day on our way into and out of the unit. It's a chance to be reminded of Alana's presence. I think it's also important to recognize what else this space is. This is a space that's inhabited by families in periods of tremendous uncertainty. We have all passed through this space, past families who are waiting here to find out what the outcome of the procedure is. And I think that Alana's presence in this space also respects and ennobles that, because over the years of her life, Carlos and Maria spent many uncertain hours in spaces like this. So thank you for being here.
Anyone want to say anything? Okay, so I'm not sure why I'm standing here. Speakers. I guess I meant to speak something out of here. So Daniel from Spiritual Care, and I and other Spiritual Care team members here, we had a lot of honor and privilege to visit Alana. In fact, I was able to visit her 6th birthday last year, exact same day. So it's really moving for us, the team's Spiritual Care. So Alana was such a such a cute girl, But I visit her, we're gathering together around her, and Alana, can I pray for you? Then Alana always put her hands, okay, I'm ready to pray. Then she prayed with us. And one day I visited her, somehow early in the morning, and there were parents there. And the first thing Alana told me that she knows who I am. Jacqueline, my parents aren't here. They're in the governor's house. But you can pray for me. So yeah, she's leaving huge legacy here at State Institution. So Carlos and Maria, thank you so much for your care for her. That's right. And yeah, she has made a huge impact for all of us.
I was just, I think about Alana every day. I have a picture of her up at my desk, like front and center. I'm Emily from occupational therapy. I worked with Alana like every day for months while she was here. And I especially think about her when I find myself rolling my eyes because she had the best eye roll. And that made me so happy. So when we would like mobilize the therapy, she'd be like, oh. And then we would always play with like her millions of toys, like the ice cream cart and everything. And she was always so joyful no matter what like she was going through, and so funny and sassy. And I literally every day at work think about her.
So I'm Harris. I'm one of the IC attendings. And Carlos and I were talking last week, and Carlos asked me what was special about Alana to all of us. And so I talked about the impact that she had, and Maria had, and Carlos had. But it's also a reminder that there is something about Alana and Carlos and Maria that spoke to all of us and brought meaning to what we do. And the other thing that I hope that Alana's plaque will remind us all of is that all families and all kids are special, and they all have their story. So this is a celebration of Alana, but part of her legacy will be to remind each of us to look for that story in all the families and children that we care, even if they're not as charming as Maria or as space occupying as Carlos. So thank you all for creating that opportunity for all of us.
Love it. Does anyone else want to say anything? Oh, hey.
I'm a music therapist here. I remember on her 6th birthday last year, the family was gathered and I passed out some egg shakers and she sang "Just Can't Wait to Be King," which is one of her favorite songs, and she loved so many songs from The Lion King, and I have pictures around her on my desk. I think about her all the time, and every time I sing a song from The Lion King for a patient care, which happens a lot, I always think of Alana and the joy that she brought to everyone's lives, and how much joy she found in music, and just how incredibly musical she was. And
Anyone else?
I'm Annie. I took care of her a lot. I'm her RT. I was thinking about how often I think of her and how she was like the least most morning person I've ever met. And she's always so upset whenever it was like time to do RT treatments in the morning. But you could bribe her if you gave her a couple sips of water. Yeah. And, I just think about how like we think about her here and we think about her at home. My roommate is Jade, one of the nurses here, and we often like have water bottles that have like the two-step. And we often look at each other and like open it up just like she did, start counting with our fingers. It's just like small moments, like we just miss her, and I think she just made like a huge impact on everyone. So she was really funny.
Anyone else?
I think I'll say something.
Anyone else? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember Alana when she was a baby. Because I walked into her room and there was something wrong. And I remember that day she went for surgery and did better. And as the years have gone by, many times we think, Alana, but she was such a vivacious girl. We walk around, she'll be calling us into her room. And then she'll ask for water. She knew how to, just right, get our attention, so we could give her what she wanted. But most of all, Maria, you were always there. You were always there, Carlos, but Maria was by her side all the time. And I'm just so grateful for the way in which you brought her up. She was such a loving girl, joyful, even through what she was going through. She was joyful, and she just every time, even when we were doing surgical walk around, she would wave at all of us from the doorway. Always wanting people to come in and to be with her. She was such a beautiful girl. I remember her punk, a spunk, very spunky, Oh, I'm just so grateful that you gave us the opportunity to be part of our lives. Thank you very much.
Monique, Carlos. Monique, go ahead.
I'm gonna start crying. Sorry. I miss her a lot. She was super important to me, and I think to all of us, obviously. But I have just so many good memories of her, and we have a picture hanging in our team room of her. And I look at that really frequently and just think about how joyful our ICU was with her for the majority of her stay. I think when I think about favorite memories of her, I think probably my favorite thing was rounding on her when she was still well, because we would show up to her room and we would say, "Oh, Maria's not here, we need to call Maria," and she would say, "Oh, I'll call her." And she would pull out her iPhone and then call Maria faster than we could, which I always loved. And there's just so many things about her that were just so endearing. I would come in her room, and if she smelled, for example, like protein bar on my breath or something like that, or she'd be like, "What are you eating?" "You have more?" I think just little things like that just think over the years won me over. And I met her when she was just a teeny tiny baby, and watching her grow was just such a joy, and we miss her all the time.
Anyone else?
Rob. So my name's Rob. I'm a chaplain with the Olympia Fire Department. I only got to meet Alana through some FaceTime calls with Carlos. Carlos worked in our department for a period of time as an intern with the Empty Cares program. And I got to listen to some very difficult conversations that he had with care team members, and had to talk him down a couple of times, pray with him a couple of times. But it was really a pleasure to be here through some of that journey. And I only got to meet you at the celebration of life. But they say that God gives special people to special kids, and clearly you guys are just amazing. And it's just so glad I could be here to celebrate today. Thank you.
I'm one of the volunteers for spiritual care, so we visited Alana so much. And the most favorite part that I had was when we'd go around the room giving prayers, and she would definitely have to say something, but it was always praying for her mom and dad. Just sweet.
I'm Sarah, I'm one of the child life specialists here, and I saw Alana twice a week for the whole school year. She was so special, and she's so smart and sassy and intelligent, and I just was so proud of her, and she overcame difficulties every day, even if they were small things like doing her RT treatments, even if they were things like doing OT, getting her dressings changed, and like those little things were so hard for that little girl, and she just pushed through and she did it regardless, and she was just so amazing, and I love you both so much, and I love her. Yeah, you guys, she brought so much joy, and I think that was one of the biggest things for everybody here, is she brought that joy even through all the difficulties.
My favorite memory, I have a lot of them, but I did something to make her mad, of course. And she didn't want to talk to me anymore, so she crossed her arms and looked away, was frowning, and then she goes, "Just 1 second," points at the fan. I turn it back on, she smiles. strawberry moon. And when I found out about that, I started crying. I don't know. There's just something special about her. And it's, yeah, it's her birthday. Yes. And yours. Happy birthday.
Speaking, but I was hesitant about doing the celebration on our birthday, her first heavenly birthday. And but I thought, what better way to celebrate her birthday with the people that's been there for her. She spent her first birthday here, room 225. And then her last birthday, 6th birthday, again here, room 304. And you guys have always been there for us. You guys love, and everyone's been,
Especially me.
and just being so understanding and helping us through everything that we've been through. And you know, people that we just met that's been helping us with everything that we've been going through. You guys' patience, understanding, just all the help with this, without not even trying to get anything from us, just the kindness of your heart. And so we want to just be able to give it back, you know. So thank you for everything that you guys have done for us and the care that you have given us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Even till this moment, I move, my daughter is still here. Because she is. And I refuse to see it any other way. So, if you don't know me, which I'm assuming most of you do know, I'm the father. And she passed away in the 18th of December this past year. And it's been nothing short of fucking hard. It's been extremely hard. And I'd be lying to you if I said we're doing okay. We're not. Yeah, we're just day by day moving in the right direction. But you guys already know everything, right? You know what we've been through. You know what happened. But what's so special about today to me is three things. It's Maria's birthday and Alana's birthday. Today is our day. We're going to unveil her name today, and it's going to be on the wall, hopefully, for God knows how long. And the third thing is the nonprofit that we've established in honor of her to tell her story and being inspired by other nonprofits that do the same mission. So if you don't know, it's called an offering of the heart. So an offering of the heart actually derives directly from her name. So in Hawaiian, Alana means offering. And her middle name, Corazón, which is what I always address her by, means heart. So Alana Corazón, an offering of the heart. So our name's embedded into the name. And it stands for, our three pillars are empathy, care, and unconditional love. And the reason why it's so three is because everyone understands empathy and care, they really do. But when you talk about unconditional love, it's exactly what you all do. And I don't think a lot of people understand that the way she lived her life. This kid was the same fucking kid. They would hit her call bell to call a nurse or somebody to check on another child in another room. And she was lined with a line in her every extremity, in her ribs and her neck, which she always found it to care about other people before she cared about herself. And that's what I call unconditional love. There's no limits, there's no boundaries. You'll do whatever the fuck it takes to be there for these people. And that's what she's about, and that's what we're about, and that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna honor her through this and what we do. And what we're doing is providing charitable funeral costs and mortuary assistance up to $1,000. And part of that is pro bono grief counseling to parents that are struggling to grieve through the process to achieve grace. And so I partner with people in our local area in Olympia to provide that for family members who are going to go through that. And I'm going to say it this way, and forgive me for saying it. I want this place to be the hub for it. So below her name is actually going to say an offering of her. We didn't set it up to be that way, it just happened to turn out that way. And so one day, and this is not about me, but this is about her and what we're trying to do for her. I plan to come back to be a social worker along, hopefully, Maricel one day, and then I'll get fired before I even start. Because you guys all know how I am. But, you know, I remember holding Corazón that night when she passed away. You stand out to me the most, and you stand out to me the most that night. And there's a lot of you, trust me, that are near and dear to me. You really are. A lot of you in here are. But when I had a conversation with Jai the day before her funeral, and, you know, long story short, it said to him, you know, Jai didn't even get to feel like we made the decision. The decision was already made for us, and God just wanted us to recognize that. Whether you're a person of faith or not, I understand. It's your own belief. But I promise you there's a God. I promise you. And that choice was already decided for us before we even knew it. Because look what's happening. And then the second thing was I was holding her, and I looked over at Maricel. She had already passed away, and she was in my arms. I was screaming at the fucking top of my lungs. I looked over at Maricel, and I said, Maricel, do you think I should keep going forward with school? And she looked at me and said, I told her, you know how I talk. Don't give me a bullshit answer. And she says, Carlos, please do, because families are going to need you one day. And I said to myself, let it be done. This is exactly what I want to do. So one day, you will see me back here in this hospital helping families go through what they have to go through. Unfortunately, it's not what we want, but somebody's got to step up to be there, not for them just here, but when they become outpatient, they move on with their lives. Someone needs to step in and be there for them. That's what we're going to do. That's what me and Maria are going to do. And when it happens, and when I'm a staff member, I don't give a shit what time of the day it is. You guys call us, and we're going to step in and be there for them. We will be there for them. Thank you all for being here. It's an honor. This is a dream come true in a good way in our suffering. I want to say this last thing is God has chosen us to teach others how to suffer. And this is how you do it. I think we're doing our best job possible. Thank you guys for being here.
Celebrate and let's sing happy birthday to Alana and Maria.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alana Maria. Happy birthday to you.
Last thing, I know I said that earlier, but I'm full of shit on this. So today is the official day of the launch, and I'm not going to say a certain word, but I think you guys know what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say it. The nonprofit is up and running today. Today is the first day. The website's up. Everything works. It's legit. We are backed by all the proper documentation. We are legal. So we're going to pass out business cards and brochures, and when this happens, I want you, I don't care what time of the day it is, you contact us and we'll be there to support them the best way we can. There's guidelines on the website for grief counseling and funeral assistance. We're here to support the same way you guys are. Thank you.
you.